Hello, Biology 1070. We are in the dairy bush, which is not far at all from where you're sitting right now, probably. And I'm joined by two other members of the Department of Integrative Biology, Dr. Steve Newmaster and Dr. Alex Smith. Dr. Newmaster, you'll recognize as the lead author of your field guide that was prepared for this course, and is an excellent resource that we will be using here in the dairy bush on our inquiry project. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about maybe your research and also what we're doing here today as far as the camera setup and the bush. I'll start with you.
So today we're out in the dairy bush and we're interested in biodiversity in the forest. We look around the forest, we see all kinds of trees, and your job today is to ID a few of these. In the next weekend tutorial you're going to have more trees to ID. So today we're going to help you figure out what these are.
Well, and one of the ways that we've got to do this is this robot that's kind of clicking over my shoulder. So that's the GigaPan. Giga, big, pan, panorama. So this will be something that you've got access to online to have a look at and to compare and contrast some of the forest from different times of year. Because this panorama is shot every week. It's just over a year now. So you have a full year to search through, if you like. So you'll have the bush itself to explore and to learn about, but you've also then have the capacity to use this digital resource to see what it looked like in August or July when you were somewhere else doing something else.
This GigaPan system, is it in common use? Is it found all over the place, or are we sort of lucky to have it?
We're pretty lucky. I mean, I think I'm lucky to have it. This is a neat thing to me. I've had this unit for 2 years, two and a half field seasons, and I was given it by the people at the Gigapixel system as a beta tester, as a scientist to test it. You can buy them now. Anybody can buy them, and one of the genesis of this, if you remember the Mars mission, the rover and Spirit that landed on Mars and sent back those kind of neat panoramic photographs, that was the ancestor of this machine here. And the scientists, the computer scientists and the roboticists who were involved in building that project, when they left NASA and they work at a couple of different institutions in the US now, they were really excited about trying to democratize robotics and to democratize science, education, archaeology, all sorts of these aspects, and to bring these into an everyday world of lots of people, and that's the internet. And so it's putting simple robots in the hands of simple people and seeing what they do with them. And so for me, I'm a biologist, I'm an ecologist, and I work here. I work in the new tropics in Costa Rica, where a lot of what I'm surrounded by as I'm crawling around on the floor looking for ants, I don't have his brain, and so I don't know what the plants are that surround me. And so I need to be able to take better records of what's around me than I can just with my field notes. And that's where this helps me a lot. So the GigaPan. The robot itself is kind of 1/3 of it. The neat thing about it, I think, one of the neat things, is that's just any camera. That can be your iPhone, that could be the camera that's in your backpack right now. It's a pretty good point and shoot, but it's not out of the purchasing realm of, it's not a high-end research machine, it's a anybody research machine.
Very cool.
And then this site I chose last August, partially because it was the understory. It's pretty clear. I can see a fair depth into the bush here, and also because it's on a path. It's on the primary path right across the top of the drumlin, and it's a place in the bush that people know.
So now this robotic unit here, what it'll do is just grab a series of photos in sequence, very gradual movement all the way around. So
it's going to take, for that frame, so that field of view, it's going to capture one, and then it's actually, I don't know if you can, but you can see it split into 3. And so the next photograph down is going to be a third lower, and then a third lower, and then also take a vertical column of 16 shots, each overlapping by about 30%. Move one column about 30% over to the right and shoot another column. Once we stitch all 768 of these photographs together, we'll have the depth to actually get in there to look at the doll's eyes or the maple leaves or the snails. There's a lot of snails here that I didn't realize until I found them on the GigaPan. So three robotics bits in there. Very simple robot, really. This isn't your Cylon. This is going left to right, up and down, and then a third engine just to drive the shutter depression. So there's three essential pieces to this. This is 1/3 of it. The next part is the stitching algorithm that interprets the overlap. And then the third part is the software that you'll see online, which is how people can view it just in a normal web browser, and then but also then annotate it, because I think that's one of the cool things that I see. I mean, there's things that I see, but I've come back after uploading these the next day, and there's Miguel Cervantes from Spain has found a spider in between the white pine and the maple tree here. And it's just kind of a neat democratization of the bush.
Yeah, it becomes a community taxonomy project, all from virtual space, essentially.
Yeah. And I think for woodlots like this, especially urban areas, the more it is democratized, the more it is community owned, the better. Not just obviously the better for the people, but the better for the woodlot. If people perceive that it's here and see a place for it, they're much less likely to try and remove it to repurpose it.
Well, as you know, our current inquiry case is about based on a real consultation case involving a city that had 3 choices of woodlot that they were going to develop one of, and doing this sort of analysis of the diversity that lives in there and trying to decide which one of the 3 was most suitable for development, or conversely, which 2 should be protected.
Yeah.
And so I think this is another component to that you could use in a real setting. I mean, you'd essentially have a comprehensive catalog of what's in the place, and you may also have a time series, and you can look at the animal diversity as well in some ways. So you could really use this for the exact kind of question that we're doing, in addition to conveying the importance of woodlots in city settings. Very interesting.
Conveying trail use, invasive or non-endemic species kind of moving in along trails, etc., etc. There's all sorts of neat things.